It is officially prediction time as I give you guys my 2025 NFL prediction winners for every single division and more in this video. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL, and here to talk about everything prediction-wise with regards to division winners, which I'll give you for every division. I'll also give you guys my playoff teams, and then finally my Super Bowl matchup, which I was able to nail last season. I did get the outcome wrong. I had the Chiefs beating the Eagles and three-peating, but I did have that matchup. So I'm going to give you guys my Super Bowl matchup and who wins. So if you guys are interested in that, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And I cannot wait to get started here. So here we go. We will start with the division winners. All right, we're going to start with the NFC East first and foremost. And in the NFC East, I've got the Eagles winning this division. Surprise, surprise, this was the easiest division to pick as far as the winner. The defending Super Bowl champs aren't going anywhere. They are the most stacked team in football, the best team in football, I believe. No doubt about it. And so, to me, you don't really have anything that you lost. That was a significant loss, if you will. Still got your main core with Hurts, with Saquon, with Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. The defense is still nasty. Coaching, everything else is great. The Eagles are going to run away with this division, hands down. Then after that, I've got the Commanders at 2, the Cowboys at 3, and the Giants at 4. Now, I wrestled with the Cowboys and Giants as far as 3 and 4. It was pretty easy for me to put the Commanders at 2, though I do think they will regress a little bit now that, teams got tape on Jaden Daniels. I feel like he could have a little bit of a C.J. Stroud type dip in his sophomore season. Maybe not to that extent, but you get my point. But I still have them at 2, no doubt about it. So 3 and 4, I thought about, hey, Giants have a good D-line. Maybe I could put them at 3. The Cowboys have a great offense. Do they deserve to stay there? And obviously now with the Micah Parsons trade, their defense is not going to be as good at all. But I'm going to keep the Cowboys at 3. I think Dak, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, that offense is going to be elite and put up points, and that's going to be enough to win games. I believe the Giants are just going to, have Russ start a couple of games. Then it'll be Jackson Dart, but ultimately not going to result in a lot of wins. So NFC East is Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, and then Giants. Let's move on to the NFC West here. And I've got the Rams winning this division. Now, I also contemplated a lot with this division because Matt Stafford has a back injury that is scary. All right, now he is going to be good to go to start the season. But what happens once he gets popped for that first time, right? Is he going to be out for the rest of the season? Is he going to need surgery? We're talking about an older quarterback, closer to his 40s now than his 30s. And that is scary. But I'm banking on the fact that, if he is healthy, you have Sean McVay, you have a very good young defense. You obviously have, a pretty solid offense with Puka Nacua. You added Devontae Adams. I'm not betting against Sean McVay, man. The Rams are going to be legit if Stafford can just stay healthy, and I'm betting on that. So Rams win this division. Number 2, I really thought the 49ers could have also won this division. Easiest schedule in football, but they also have a lot of injuries already. The season hasn't even started. A lot of their wide receivers are out. But you got Kittle. You got a healthy CMC. That should be enough to keep you afloat until those guys get back. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan is elite. So give me the 49ers at 2. At 3, I've got the Arizona Cardinals, and number 4, the Seahawks. Not much there as far as those two teams. I think the Cardinals, are solid offensively and defensively, but I think the Seahawks will struggle. So you could interchange them if you will, but I went the Cards 3, Seahawks 4. All right, moving on to the NFC South here. I've got the Bucs winning this division. This was pretty easy for me as well. Baker Mayfield was awesome last year. I expect that to continue. I do think there will be a little dip in production offensively with the loss of Liam Cohen, but you just have so many weapons, right? You got, obviously, Baker throwing to Mike Evans. You've got Chris Godwin once he's back. Emeka Egbuka, their new receiver that they drafted, who everybody's been raving about. He's looked great. You got Bucky Irving out of the backfield, who's going to get the majority of the snaps. Like, this offense is potent. I didn't even mention Kate Otten. Defense is formidable. Like, the Bucs are the most complete best team in this division. They will win it. Number 2, I've got the Falcons. I think Michael Penix is going to take a step in his second season. Obviously, you're going to have more experience under his belt. But it's not just about Penix. It's about the fact that you got Drake London. You got Bijan Robinson. You just have a great team around him as far as offensively skilled players. And then the defense, it's okay. It's nothing great, but I believe this division, you have an easy division. You're going to be able to stack up wins. So I have the Falcons at 2. Number 3, the Panthers. Bryce Young, we all know, played really well in the second half of last season. I believe he is going to continue to progress well with Dave Canales, who I'm a big believer in. And the offense should be solid. The defense, I think, will still be really bad. But, third in the division, make a step forward, if you will. And then 4th, the Saints. I think they're playing for the number 1 overall pick. This is the worst team in football. I think you'll, be lucky to get a handful of wins if you are the New Orleans Saints. They're starting Spencer Rattler. It's bad. It's bad in New Orleans. All right, so I got the Saints finishing at 4. They're probably going to be the worst team in football. Finally, the hardest division to predict in the NFC North. I've got the Packers winning this division, then the Lions at 2, the Bears at 3, and the Vikings at 4. So I talked about this in depth in my NFC North prediction video, but I've got the Vikings at 4 just because they are starting a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, so I do think he struggles a little bit. I got the Bears at 3 because it's the first year with Ben Johnson and then second year of Caleb Williams. I think their offense is definitely going to be improved. I'm talking about a top 12 to 15 offense in the NFL, but I believe with the hard division, a hard schedule, it's going to be tough for them to get higher than this. 2, Lions, I think they're going to deal with the losses of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn not well, and they'll take a step back. And then the Packers, who are going all in with the Micah Parsons trade, I think they do win this division in the NFC North. So those are my NFC division winners. So I got the Packers, Bucks, Rams, and the Eagles. Let's move on to the AFC. And in the AFC East, I've got the Bills. Again, another easy one. No explanation needed. The Buffalo Bills are awesome, and this is a terrible division with the teams like the Dolphins, Pats, and Jets. And funny enough, that's the order I have it at. I have the Bills at 1. I've got the Pats at 2. I've got the Dolphins at 3, and I've got the Jets at 4. So I believe the Patriots will step up, take a step with Mike Vrabel, and their defense is going to be very solid. Drake May, I think he's going to be good. And so with just those 2 things improved, you're going to be able to win a couple more games. Again, it's a bad division. And then you've got the Dolphins at 3, and the Dolphins are really just kind of all over the place because Tyreek Hill's, kind of a wild card, and I don't know about the team chemistry. And this Dolphins team, man, if things don't go right, they could kind of implode from within. Just because, again, everything that I've been reading about, hearing about with Mike McDaniel and this team. But at their best, if Tua stays healthy, knock on wood, doesn't have any more concussions, that's still a potent offense that you have with Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and Devon Achane. So if things break right, they're going to be solid. But if they don't, this team could find themselves in the basement of the AFC. And then at number 4, I've got the Jets. I think the Jets are going to, be better as far as culturally in their first year with Aaron Glenn, but it's not going to result in a lot of wins. Justin Fields, his connection with Garrett Wilson is going to be fun to watch, but overall, this team is lacking a lot offensively and defensively. They're not that great either, so I have them finishing 4th in this division. All right, moving on to the AFC West here. I've got the Chiefs winning this division with the Chargers at 2, Raiders at 3, and hot take, I got the Broncos at 4. Now, look, Chiefs shouldn't have much explanation either. This team literally has won the division for a decade now. Chargers, to me, they were a very solid football team with the first year of Jim Harbaugh. I think they only get better. Justin Herbert's going to have a better season than he did last year. I think they'll throw the ball more. Year 2 of Vlad McConkey. You added Keenan Allen, who, again, at back home, he should be better than he was in Chicago. You have Amari and Hampton you drafted. Offensively, they got better. We already knew they were good defensively. Yes, I know they lost Rashawn Slater, but I do think they have enough to overcome that and still finish 2nd in the division. The real question mark is, why do I have the Raiders over the Broncos? The reason I have the Raiders over the Broncos is because the Raiders are kind of going all in on this season as well. Let's not sleep on them, okay? You have a pretty much a substantial upgrade at quarterback going to Geno Smith, more so than maybe any other team in the league, which is huge. All right. You have a rookie running back you drafted who could have a fantastic season, could lead the league in rushing yards in Ashton Genty. You have a Hall of Fame head coach in Pete Carroll. and you have a future, I shouldn't say future Hall of Famer, it's way too early, but you have a star tight end in Brock Bowers. So this team should be better than people think. And to me, I see no reason why they can't be better than Denver, who again sneaked in last year and was solid, sneaked into playoffs and was solid, but it's like they weren't all that impressive. To me, Bo Nix is solid. I like Sean Payton, and the defense is formidable. But to me, let's not sleep on the Raiders here, all right? So it's going to be very close. Yeah, Broncos could certainly go 3. To me, it's closer than a lot of people are willing to give it credit for. I just feel like the Raiders got much better, and the Broncos kind of stayed where they were, okay? So that is the AFC West. AFC South, here we go. Hot take. I have the Jaguars winning this division. I'll explain in just a second here. Texans at 2. The Colts at 3, Titans at 4. I shouldn't have to explain the Titans. Rookie quarterback in Cam Ward. They're rebuilding. It's going to be a long year in Tennessee. Their main thing should just be the focus of Cam Ward and how good he is. Colts at 3. I mean, Daniel Jones at quarterback, enough said. Yeah, they'll be better than if they were starting Anthony Richardson, but how much more? Not really. So 1 and 2, Jags, Texans. The reason I'm going with the Jaguars is because I am a big believer in Liam Cohen, the OC from the Bucs, who is now the head coach for the Jags. I believe he is going to take this Jags offense, rejuvenate Trevor Lawrence, utilize Travis Hunter, and him being a big pop to this offense. You already got Brian Thomas Jr., who's an absolute stud his rookie season. Use these weapons to really go ahead and get this offense churning and working, and it's an easy division. So you can easily win this division and not have a great record. So I'm betting on that over a Texans team that lost Joe Mixon for the first 4 weeks. Their offensive line isn't all that great. CJ Stroud could potentially struggle again. So, I see the improvements for the Jaguars, and they kind of went up here, and the Texans, again, kind of stayed the same. So give me the Jags to win this division, okay? And then finally, AFC North, I got the Ravens winning this division, Bengals 2, Steelers 3, Browns 4. No explanation needed on the Browns. They're absolutely horrible. They're going to be, at the bottom of the AFC with a terrible roster at this point. Steelers at 3, Aaron Rodgers at this age, I mean, he's just trying to play one more season. I don't see him, working with Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin to create magic. Their main thing was just going to be continue to be above 500, if that. Bengals at 2, again, great offense, bad defense. They're not beating the Ravens, if you will, who are great everywhere. And again, this is the regular season, not the playoffs. In the regular season, Lamar and company, they're going to be very, very good. So that is my overall predictions for the divisions. So let's go to the NFC. I've got, in no particular order, I have the Packers, Rams, Bucks, and Eagles as the division winners. And then I have the Lions, 49ers, and Bears with the wild card. So I have 3 teams in the NFC North making the wild card, okay? So Lions, Packers, Bears all make the wild card because that is a tough division. 3 teams made it last year, and I think it repeats. In the AFC, I've got, in no particular order, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Jags as the division winners. And then I've got the Bengals, Chargers, and Texans as my wild card teams. In the AFC, excuse me, let me fix that actually. It's Bengals, Chargers, Texans. Yes, those are my 3 teams in the AFC to make the playoffs. And then here we go. My Super Bowl prediction here. I've got, drum roll please, the Eagles making the Super Bowl out of the NFC. That might not be a surprise to most of you guys. This is the best team in football, best roster in football. And then from the AFC, thought long and hard about it. Could we see another repeat of the Chiefs, Bills? But you know what? Every year I have been picking the Chiefs because it's like, why not pick them? They've, continued to get to the Super Bowl until proven otherwise you pick them. But hey, sometimes you got to make a stand here. And who are the 2 teams that have been right there trying to take down the Chiefs, right? Either in the regular season or the playoffs? Well, it's been the Ravens, it's been the Bills. Is it the year finally for one of them to take over the Chiefs and head to the Super Bowl? I believe it is. I am not picking the Ravens because Lamar Jackson, I don't trust him in the playoffs. He does not play his best football in the playoffs. So for that, until I see that change, I can't pick the Ravens. So that means I have the Buffalo Bills, yes, finally defeating the Kansas City Chiefs after loss after loss after loss. So to me, this Bills team, you might be saying, Faiz, why are you picking them finally to beat the Chiefs? Well, it's like, hey, they lost by 3 points last year in the AFC Championship game. They outgained Kansas City. They didn't have any turnovers, and they lost that game. So we're talking about literally this close. Eventually, you get over that hump, and that could be the case here. Now, it doesn't always happen, but to me, I just feel like with, the Kansas City Chiefs, sometimes you might not be there mentally with now the whole Travis Kelce thing, getting engaged. Maybe it's his last year with the Chiefs. Who knows? I'm just saying that's not my main reason, obviously. But my point is like, hey, the Buffalo Bills, they're just as good as the Chiefs. It's just a game of inches. They got that close last year. I mean, all they've probably been thinking about the entire offseason since their season ended has been how to beat Kansas City. So Josh Allen got his MVP. All he wants now is to get a Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm picking the Bills to beat the Chiefs, finally get to the Super Bowl. But sorry, Bills fans, here's where it ends. Another Super Bowl loss for you guys. I got the Eagles repeating, folks. I'm sorry. Eagles roster is disgustingly good. Disgustingly good. It is stacked like pancakes, people. There is no weakness on this team. And until I find or see a team that has a better roster, I will be picking the Philadelphia Eagles. They are repeating as Super Bowl champions. So there you have it, folks. My full NFL predictions for you guys. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching.